Over in Tulare County, a College of Sequoia student took this video.
Yeah, I hope every one of this family dies, and their children, and their grandchildren, and their grandchildren, and their grandchildren to eternity.
The student, who wants to remain anonymous, says prior to pulling out her phone, the teacher told the biology class that he watched the assassination of Kirk on loop for an hour.
What you're about to see represents one of the most concerning developments in our political climate. The assassination of Charlie Kirk has revealed something deeply troubling about where we are as a society. Not just the violence itself, but how some people have chosen to respond to it. Today, we need to have an honest conversation about what's happening and what we can do about it.
Celebrate the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. They say they're inappropriate no matter what your political beliefs are.
I don't know if this teacher should be fired, but I want us all to agree that no authority figure should be condoning political violence.
Multiple Mariposa County parents angrily addressed the school board during its monthly meeting Thursday.
A teacher who allegedly stated they were glad Charlie Kirk is dead and told MAGA kids to go home and cry.
Parents say there's no room for these comments in the classroom.
These comments send a harmful message that individuals who share Charlie Kirk's opinions or beliefs are somehow deserving of violence or death.
The Mariposa County Unified School District sent parents a statement this week and reads in part, "We are currently investigating a complaint involving alleged comments made by a Mariposa County high school staff member." Over in Tulare County, a College of Sequoia student took this video.
Yeah, I hope every one of this family dies, and their children, and their grandchildren, and their grandchildren, and their grandchildren to eternity.
The student, who wants to remain anonymous, says prior to pulling out her phone, the teacher told the biology class that he watched the assassination of Kirk on loop for an hour.
In the wake of this tragedy, we've witnessed something unprecedented. Educators, public figures, and others in positions of trust openly celebrating political violence. These aren't private conversations or momentary lapses in judgment. These are public statements that cross fundamental lines about how we treat political disagreement in America.
I just was very disgusted. I couldn't even stay in the class. I walked out and I was just brought to tears because as someone that watched the video and saw how terrible it was, it just made me so uncomfortable to see that someone could say something like that.
She says this isn't the first time he shared his political view in class. The College of Sequoia sent us a statement saying the part-time faculty member was placed on administrative leave and a full-time employee has taken over the course.
For me as a teacher to go into a classroom and suggest that somebody deserved to die and his family should likewise die all the way down to his dogs in his 10th generation, that's inciting violence. And I don't think any contract would protect somebody from saying that.
Let's start with what's perhaps most concerning, the response from educators. A biology teacher told his class he watched the assassination on repeat for an hour and wished death on Kirk's entire family for generations. A high school staff member told students to go home and cry. An art teacher called it one Nazi down. These aren't just inappropriate social media posts. These are statements made by people who shape young minds every day. When educators celebrate violence against those with different political views, what message does that send to students? That some Americans deserve to die for their beliefs. The consequences have been swift. Teachers have been fired, placed on leave, and face investigations. Universities have condemned their faculty. School districts have had to issue statements defending their values. But the damage to trust and to our civic fabric may be harder to repair.
That's and the fallout of MTSU's Assistant Dean of Students, Laura Sosh Lightsey, who was fired after a post she made on Facebook in response to Kirk's murder, saying, "Looks like old Charlie spoke his fate into existence. Hate begets hate. zero sympathy.
I think saying that you have a lack of sympathy for something as horrible that what happened yesterday is just cold and heartless. I think it was the right move given her position.
But some students say the university's president went too far, firing the assistant dean.
If she said it to her students, that would be a different story entirely, but it was off of her office hours on her personal account, and it's her personal thoughts, and I don't think that the school has any business policing that sort of.
This isn't isolated to education. We've seen similar celebrations across professions and platforms. A law professor said he would wish death on people like him. Others have explicitly called for more violence against conservatives, arguing that political opposition justifies physical harm. What we're witnessing is the normalization of political violence. When public figures suggest that voting for certain candidates makes you deserving of death, we've crossed into dangerous territory. This isn't about left versus right. It's about whether we can maintain a society where people feel safe to participate in the political process.
We spoke with Dr. Sidney McPhee, the president of MTSU, who says Sosh Lightsey's remarks crossed the line, forcing him to let her go.
It has caused and had the potential of causing significant reputational damage to the university and having really an adverse effect on the credibility of our institution.
The president says this is also a lesson learned for everyone at the university that words matter and everyone has to be held responsible for what they say.
And I'm quite comfortable with the decision that I made.
On September 10th, after conservative political activist Charlie Kirk was assassinated while speaking at Utah Valley University, John Colgan posted this to his personal Facebook page. It reads in part, "Hearing that Charlie Kirk got shot and died really brightened up my day. Nobody deserves it, but some are asking for it." He went on to call Kirk a ghoul who often defended guns after school shootings. Colgan teaches science at Neil Armstrong Middle School in Forest Grove, posted an update on their website saying, "We recognize the harm caused by our staff members' post, and we are taking the situation seriously. Consistent with our policies, we have placed this staff member on paid administrative leave, and we are conducting an investigation." Colgan has not responded to our interview request, but the mayor did put out a statement saying in Colgan's resignation, he expressed that he is deeply sorry for his comments and the harm they caused to our community and staff. The comments made by former City Councilor Colgan on social media do not reflect my values or the values of the city of Cornelius. Worth noting, in Idaho, a high school employee was just fired from the West Ada School District for posting a video on social media celebrating Kirk's assassination. I'll have more on this story tonight at 6:30 on The Story.
The most troubling aspect isn't just these individual statements. It's what they reveal about our fractured society. Some are explicitly calling for an end to unity, for treating political opponents as enemies to be destroyed, rather than fellow Americans with different views. This represents a fundamental threat to societal norms. When violence becomes an acceptable response to political disagreement, when educators teach students that certain viewpoints make people deserving of harm, when public figures call for fear and intimidation as political tools, we're witnessing the breakdown of the civic bonds that hold our society together.
Superintendent Mike Fisher says it has been a busy day. He confirms the trouble started late Wednesday afternoon when high school art teacher Matt Cargill posted on social media. It says, quote, "One Nazi down." It was his response to the shooting death of Republican political activist Charlie Kirk. Upset Oskaloosa residents started calling into the school to complain.
To be able to post stuff like that, it's just inappropriate and just not called for. And it's definitely something that shouldn't have been done.
Fisher says the post violated the district's social media policies and put Cargill on administrative leave. We contacted Cargill, but he did not want to comment. There has been no violence at the high school. But one of Cargill's close friends says the beloved art teacher deserves a second chance.
Matt shouldn't have posted that, but he's human. And he makes mistakes.
In Framingham, a King Elementary School employee is on leave after posting a video appearing to celebrate Kirk's death. In Wachusett, the superintendent says a high school teacher is on leave and banned from the property after she made inappropriate comments about Kirk's shooting on her personal social media page. Police say the comments sparked heated debate and raised concerns about school safety that extra police had to go to the school.
She's basically okay in the crime, that this is something we should do. And yeah, you can't agree with stuff like that. How out of control are we when you start doing stuff like that?
Thomas Jr., a city appointee and the now former data and policy manager at the Jacksonville Public Education Fund, is receiving backlash for comments he made online about Kirk spewing hate. Thomas sent First Coast News this statement saying, quote, "My original post was not meant to imply that Mr. Kirk deserved what happened to him. I do not condone or endorse any form of violence. To anyone who was hurt, confused, or disappointed by my words, I sincerely apologize." The Jacksonville Public Education Fund also sent First Coast News a statement calling Thomas's post inconsistent with our values and say he's no longer with the organization. And City Council President Kevin Carrico is calling on Thomas to be removed from his city-appointed position. Councilmember Rory Diamond agrees.
Look, I think the appointee has to go. There's a standard for serving on our city boards, and he's fallen well below that standard. What he said was really disgusting, so he should go. I suspect that he'll probably resign.
Each of us has a role to play. Before we post on social media, we should ask, do my words contribute to healing or division? Am I treating people with different political views as fellow human beings deserving of respect? Am I modeling the kind of discourse I want to see in our society?
FBI team, Southern University suspends a law school professor today, and they're moving to fire her over comments she's accused of making on social media in the wake of activist Charlie Kirk's assassination. In a post shared with WAFB, the professor allegedly wrote, "I will 1000% wish death on people like him." Our chief investigator, Chris Nakamoto, broke the story earlier today. He's now here with the ongoing fallout from her comments. Hey, Chris.
Hey, good evening, Greg. The post quickly going viral with many people wondering why she's not being protected for her free speech. Legal experts say free speech does not mean free of consequences.
Well, in this situation, if it's strictly political, that's one thing. If it is suggesting violence, that's a different story.
As law school professor Page says she teaches criminal litigation and criminal defense, in a social media post shared with us, she allegedly called Kirk pure evil, and she wishes death on people like him. Southern University board chair Tony Clayton said speech like that won't be tolerated, adding, quote, "She participated in conduct that was prejudicial to the university. The school will investigate this matter to finalize terminating her from the university." Attorney Clayton going further, saying, quote, "Distasteful statements should not be tolerated, particularly as it relates to death. That is tantamount to participating in inciting violence and spewing hate. That conduct will not be tolerated at Southern University, period." Attorney General Liz Murrill also reacted, writing that, quote, "Political violence has no place in a democratic society. The comments posted by this individual were abhorrent. This individual has a constitutional right to have opinions, and social media amplifies them, but she does not have a right to teach at a public law school."
School district is in trouble for comments made following the assassination of political activist Charlie Kirk. This time, a Leroy Central School District teacher is on administrative leave. The school superintendent did not reveal the teacher's name, but said the educator expressed regret when confronted by school administrators this morning. The district released a statement from the teacher that reads in part, I have strong personal beliefs, and unfortunately, in a heated moment, I put up media posts that were inappropriate, inflammatory, and offensive. The teacher goes on to write, I sincerely apologize to the community of Leroy, my colleagues, and especially the students and parents for my actions, end quote. This teacher joins a Naples school teacher who is off the job due to inflammatory social media posts made following the shooting death of Charlie Kirk. The conservative activist was killed while speaking at an event on a Utah college campus Wednesday. The full statement from the Leroy teacher and complete coverage from this week's developments are posted at rochesterfirst.com.
Administrative leave after alleged controversial comments about the shooting of Charlie Kirk.
Parents showing up at a school committee meeting tonight, and they are outraged. The night team's John Perrick was at a school committee meeting that just wrapped up. He joins us live. John?
Patrice and Dan, yes, the school says that they are putting that teacher on paid administrative leave. School also says that they're planning on hiring a third-party investigator to look into those comments. But for the parents we spoke with here at the school committee meeting tonight, all that just isn't enough.
It was kind of shocked. I was like, somebody actually posted this.
A Barrington teacher tonight put on paid leave after parents say the teacher posted inappropriate comments on social media about the shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
No remorse, no nothing. It was more so, oh, he got what was coming for him.
Parents say the post in question was a TikTok video. It's since been taken down, but parents we spoke with still saw it.
It was a post of a male teacher who is saying that the killing was justifiable.
Barrington Superintendent Chris Ashley first announced the school's actions to parents over email before addressing the issue again at tonight's school committee meeting.
We will be conducting an outside investigation into this. We can't discuss the details.
Any acts of political violence cannot be tolerated.
Parents tell us the teacher in the alleged video works in the high school and is involved in the union. Multiple parents spoke out during public comment tonight.
Having the most evil reaction to someone's death is literally disgusting.
To make our students feel safe, our conservative students feel safe, our Christian students feel safe, he needs to be removed.
The school said that he's now on paid administrative leave. Is that enough?
No.
If what you've seen here concerns you, don't just be outraged. Take action. Reach out to your local school board to ask about staff social media policies and, more importantly, classroom guidelines on what topics can and cannot be discussed. While I personally believe homeschooling is the best option, I understand it isn't possible for everyone. That's why it's also important to support organizations working to bridge political divides. Above all, be the change you want to see. Engage respectfully with those who disagree with you, and never normalize political violence in any form. The assassination of Charlie Kirk was a tragedy that should unite us in condemnation of political violence. Instead, it has revealed how far we've drifted from our shared values. But it's not too late to choose a different path. We can disagree passionately while respecting each other's humanity. We can hold people accountable while protecting legitimate political expression. The future of our society depends on making that choice, starting today.